I gotta sneeze. Sounds like the meeting is over. Alright, are we gonna get a chance to talk to Cassius? So that meeting didn't last very long, all things considered. Look at Reen.
Oh, you there, young man.
You're Reen Schwarzer, correct?
Young man, young man. Get me some tea and crumpets. Yes, that's right. I'm honored to make your acquaintances.
As am I. Stories of the Ashen Chevalier have certainly made their rounds across Calvin. Though I suppose not all of those stories paint you in the best light.
That's perfectly understandable. However, I hear you single-handedly destroyed a number of our tanks and gunships without killing those within. It was quite a feat, which spiked my curiosity. I see now why Lady Mildine, Princess Alphen, and General Le Guin hold you in such high esteem. Thank you for the compliment. Please accept my apologies about your tanks. It was nothing personal. You've also played a part in the Northern War, didn't you? Romaferia and Northumbria have been on friendly terms for quite a long time. Pains me greatly we could not do anything to help them. Your involvement contributed to a significant reduction in casualties among their citizens, though. You give me too much credit. I wasn't acting alone. No need to be so humble. I heard stories about you from refugees who fled to Romaferia when Northumbria was incorporated into the Erebonian Empire. That felt like the hugest sentence ever. Modesty is a fine trait, but it starts to grate when people downplay their achievements. Acknowledge your importance. You're the person whose actions may very well decide the fate of the world, after all. They already did. There's still plenty of time until dinner. If you'd like to chat some more, I'll be in my room. Since the acting Duke Alberea and the fellow from the Inspectorate are here, why not invite them along as well? I've already informed them. I will also be retiring to my room until dinner. Feel free to come and see me if you wish. I'd like to speak with Lloyd, too. I'll go and tell him.
I was wondering when we'd finally get the chance to meet.
Huckaboo Cassius. Lieutenant General Bright. I've heard much about you from Master Kafai. I don't think I've had the chance to introduce myself to you either, Your Highness. I'm Reen Schwarzer, son of Baron Tails Schwarzer and disciple of the 8 Leaves, One Blade School. I currently work as an instructor for Thor's Military Academy's branch campus. Are you still working there, though? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintances.
Oh, no. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you. In a way, this feels closer to a reunion than a first meeting. Perhaps it's due to all the tales I've heard about you from Tita and Josette. And from Prince Olivert as well.
I'm honored to hear that. What happened to Olivert was truly heartbreaking. He had this grand vision, you see. It wasn't only with Erebonia's best interests in mind, but those of the entire continent. Yes, he was a great man. Victor and Toval were good friends of mine as well. Their deaths have dealt a heavy blow to Erebonia. I'd even say it was felt by the whole continent. But now we must carry on without them, even if that involves committing to something they most certainly would have never approved of. Okay, so work with me here. In Cold Steel 3, we ran into a couple of situations where it was alluded to that, Crow could be alive. It wasn't anything overt, but Reen had his coin still. Reen would think about Crow a couple of times. Then, the whole Azure Siegfried started coming up. There was a point where his voice kind of sounded like Crow for me. There were so many clues, basically. And it all converged on Crow being alive. This game hasn't given us any clues that Victor and Toval and Oliver are alive. But the game, I feel, is putting a lot of emphasis that they're dead and that they'll be missed and things like that. And they had these grand plans. So I think I mentioned this earlier that, maybe Ouroboros kind of resurrected them as zombies, like Crow and stuff like that. But now I'm thinking maybe it was a little bit more calculated than that, and that they're actually not dead at all, and they're working with some of the other missing people, like Vivi, Monk, and Mint, for example. It's a little far-fetched, I know, but I'm sticking to, I think they're alive. It's just rather they actually escaped the explosion, or they're zombies. There you go. If you'd like, why don't you stop by to chat for a bit about before dinner? Cassius, you wanted to talk to Estelle, didn't you? Yes, and the others as well, Ren, Tita, Agate. Please do come along, Ring. We could reminisce about Master Kafai together. I'll definitely stop by. Okay.
Oh, Reen! There you are!
Gotta talk to the bigwigs. Hello, Princess Alphen. Are you alright? Of course. I was a little shocked about the topics of discussion, but I suppose it's good. We were able to talk about all those pressing issues. Princess. Okay, no. I was about to say, Elise was sitting in the meeting too, but nah, she wasn't sitting in the meeting. I see. I'm sorry I couldn't reveal the intended scale when I invited you, Princess. I trust you understand this was an inevitable reality. Your presence here was of the utmost importance. Yes, I'm well aware of my responsibilities. With neither father nor my brothers available, it falls to me to represent the Imperial family and remain informed of the current situation. You say with long hair? Yeah, she has like hair extensions that she uses to pose around as Mildine. I'm guessing it's because noble women need to have long hair to be, beautiful or something like that, or meet the look of a noble woman. This was something that kind of came up in Trails in the Sky with Chloe, or Claudia. She cut her hair and all that good stuff, and blah blah blah, this and that. There's not very many short-haired nobles in this game, and the ones that are trying to pretend that they're not nobles or royalty or whatever, or they're Angelica. Would you be so kind as to share some of that information with us at dinner? That's the plan. We could use more input on matters at hand. We'll all be cooperating, of course. Racers, the special support section, and representatives of Thors should make their voices heard too. We'll need to know where they intend to position themselves between Operation Jormungandr and Mille Mirage. Dinner won't be served for a while, though. Princess Alphen, Elise, why don't you join me for tea? You may join as well, instructor, but the topic of discussion will most likely not interest you given how easily you embarrass. I can never tell if you're joking, Muse, but tea sounds good to me. Yes, count me in too. Oh, maybe Claudia could join us. Yes, I'll extend an invitation to her. Instructor Reen, will you be coming? Please do. If you insist, I'll see you in a bit. Alright. I think maybe we'll start with them, because I want to end with Cassius. Still time to chat with the attendees before dinner. Might want to speak with the President, Lieutenant General Bright too. People have moved to new locations. And the story will progress. Some optional content will become unavailable once you progress in the story. What are you talking about? Optional content? Okay, let's... Cassius is on the top of my list of people to speak with. He should be in the Liberal waiting room. I want to talk to Cassius last, sucker. Like card games? Hey, if he plays Vantage Masters, you know, he may be a divine blade, but he gonna get divinely bodied by my 13, 14, 15, and 2 record, whatever it's at right now. It's so hard to count these wins when you just win so much, you know? You start losing count at how amazing you are at all this stuff. Oh, you mean optional content like card games? Oh, potentially. You might be right about that. Someone is talking on the other side of the door. Wowzers, an exclusive interview like this sure makes my day. What are your thoughts on the developments since the trade conference 2 years ago? And what's your take on the recent incidents in the Principality? I've answered those questions for Ardent Press before. Grace, was it? Listen, Grace, it's all very well that you're so motivated, but you should think your questions through beforehand. Somehow it hurts that much more being told by a stunningly beautiful woman. Sounds like they're in the middle of a spirited conversation. Anyway, let's visit the Liberal waiting room for now. Bruh, I'll go there when I darn well please, Soko. President Rocksmith, in your opinion, how's the prognosis for Calvard looking? Not too bad, I'd say, for now. Lady Mildene's sharp intellect is truly something to be feared, isn't it? The situation being as it is, I'm determined to see things through on my end. President Rocksmith. What the new party does with the country once it's in their hands, though, I really couldn't say. I might have some information that could be of interest to you. Rocksmith's term is nearly over. Shouldn't interrupt their conversation. I'll come back a bit later. Yeah, Rocksmith's term is almost over. That guy's gonna try to stay in office forever. Remind you of somebody? That's all I'm gonna say. Chloe, how are you? I'm well, thanks. I haven't seen you in 3 months. Good to see you again, Joshua, Ren. And you guys. Yeah, you guys, whoever you are. Been a while. Tina and I saw you in Gransel before we set off for Erebonia. I'm so happy to see you again. It was the same for us, but we headed to Calvard instead. How was the Queen? Very well, thanks for asking after her. She couldn't have attended with all the attention around her right now. That's why she sent me in her stead. I see, she needed someone trustworthy to represent her. But if these talks are so crucial, why didn't Julia and Zeke come too? Julia is the night chick. Okay, I remember her. Zeke. I don't remember who Zeke is. Is Zeke the bracer? I don't think so. I think his name was different. I imagine some urgent matters kept them busy. Zeke hardly has a moment to spare working as a messenger. Messenger? I don't remember who Zeke is. I see. Based off that, I suppose I have an idea of what's going on. Yeah. I doubt people were just making small talk over tea and biscuits in there. Can you share anything with us, Dad? We haven't seen each other in half a year, and it's straight to business with neither hello nor hug. I suppose a father can't hope for love and affection from his daughter once she's left the nest and become independent. Don't guilt-trip me for not being all sugary sweet. You seem well anyway. You too, Sunshine. Joshua, everything all right? Yes, all's going well. So you're Chloe's bodyguard today, Dad. Oh, don't tell me that's all you're here for. I won't believe it. Well, have some patience. Everything will be revealed soon enough. Ren, did you get taller? You've grown a lot since I last saw you. I'm only taller by 5 rege. I'm guessing that's like inches? Or centimeters? Probably not inches. Like, I grew 5 inches in 3 months. You what? I'll catch up with Tita at this rate. No, please don't. It took me so long to stop looking like a kid. Don't worry, Tita, you're still growing. You're only 16. Estelle had just joined the Bracers when she was your age. It feels like it was only yesterday we were traveling around the burrow together. I was a sky bandit back then. You might be older now, Estelle, but you're as happy-go-lucky as ever, I see. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it? As for you, Josette, even grown up, you never lost that little urchin attitude. It's part of my personal identity, you see. Tita, I hear you've been making a name for yourself. Your grandfather had nothing but praise for you. Apparently, though, your mom worries about you a lot. Well, she's just a worrywart. I write her a lot to let her know I'm fine. I already messaged her to tell her everything's okay. She mentioned something about Agate getting his comeuppance next time she sees him, too. She said she was drafting a new research project involving human test subjects. What? Mom? It's like the good old times again. That reminds me, Estelle, did you see Zin when you were in Calvar? That's his name, Zin. Yeah. You're surprised no one has the same name as anyone else? How likely is that with so many people? I'm guessing they probably have like a database or something like that. There's a lot of characters that are just like tourist or something, you know? I did. It was just before I came to Erebonia. He asked me to pass messages for him to my dad and a few others. Oh, brilliant. Got lots to talk about. I don't want to interrupt their fun. I should come back later. Yeah, of course. Cassius has got some crazy senses too, so you can't really dodge that man. Oh, hello, Instructor Reen. Reen, sorry, we were so caught up in catching up. We didn't mean to exclude you. Don't be shy, boy. Come and join us. Sure, if you don't mind. Alright, we need to have the penultimate conversation. I mean, it's not going to be as good as Reen and Osborne or Reen and Rufus, but I figured learning more about the 8 Leaves, 1 Blade School and Master Kafai is pretty high on my list here. I need to know if Master Kafai is going to show up in this game, so you need to give me some hints, Mr. Cassius Bright. You seem to be enjoying yourselves. Well, that's no surprise when good friends get together. They bonded during the Orbal Shutdown phenomenon. It's regrettable Olivert is no longer with us, and Sherazard has gone missing as well. Regardless, we must stay focused on what's ahead of us and try to remain optimistic. Wise words. By the way, I'm happy to see you, Reen. Master Kafai has been telling me about you. This young man has even more potential than you, Cassius. I'm sure that's not true. He must have been teasing you. Besides, there are so many complicating factors now. Oh, are you speaking of your background? I've heard of it, and I'm aware of the cause of your altered appearance, too. Don't worry too much about what you can't change, Reen. And by the way, I got a letter about you a month ago from a certain man on an eastward journey. Why is he being coy? We know you're talking about Master Kafai, sucker. You don't mean Master Kafai. But I was still in prison then. Yes, so I hear. Oddly enough, it was foretold in the letter. Whether it was prophecy or just a wild guess, I cannot tell. I don't think we've seen him. A frighteningly accurate prediction. What was the letter about exactly? That's the thing, Reen. In the light of the current situation, I'm afraid I cannot tell you yet. Huh? Not the right time nor place. But to give you a rough idea, it's about the final art of our school of swordsmanship. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna be like, he wants you to become a divine blade, but you'll have to beat me, Cassius Bright, in order to achieve it. In this time of turbulence, becoming that flashing blade that illuminates the darkness, even if for the briefest moment. Once I have returned from the East and we have reunited, I shall impart to you my final teachings. Are we finally gonna meet Master Kafai? The arts our master taught me include Helix and Void, but you, Reen, may go even beyond that. Of course, you understand that seeking mastery of our style will be most difficult. Of course, with the way I am now, I'm not confident I could ever achieve it. But you're right, this isn't the place to discuss it. Just keep it in mind, we'll come back to it later. I'll relay our master's message for you once the circumstances are right. We've yet to see where today's talks lead to. But a time when great determination and sacrifice are needed is no doubt to come. Great determination, sacrifice. Reen is a sacrifice. I see what you're doing there. You think you're funny, but you're gonna get slapped. I'll be ready for it. Aw, they got on like a house on fire. What is that supposed to mean? Yeah, you couldn't tell they've only just met. Having something unique in common, like their fighting style, brings people together. I'm feeling a bit jealous now. Looks like we're the outsiders. I totally get that, though. Agate, are you feeling left out too? No, why would I care? Excuse me for butting in, I'm from the Crossbell News. Could you please spare some time for a really quick interview? Your Grace, serious about your job, I see. Bet Niall and Dorothy gave you their list of questions for the attendees too. Hey, a little shout out to Niall and Dorothy. I still think Dorothy is a bad guy. But looking like that's less and less a real thing. I'm sticking to that prediction though. Y'all could fight me over that. Cassius and Claudia agreed to the interview. Reen and the others excused themselves to give them some privacy. Everyone's been moving around. There's still time to chat with the attendees before dinner. People have moved to their new locations. Alright. See what I say. What I say. I'm telling you, it's the party all over again. Holy freaking cow, man. I need another drink. This is getting ridiculous. Y'all trying to kill me over here. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of walking around first. Find out, who's... Ooh, okay. We'll keep that one for last. Alright, so these are all the important people, so let's go talk to, all the... Oh, wait, no. These are the important people. Unimportant people. Claudia, I'm terribly sorry about earlier. I was so taken aback I lost my composure. Thank you for being so kind to me. Oh, of course. Considering the subject, it was no wonder you became agitated. You have a huge responsibility on your shoulders as a representative of the Imperial family. Thank you for being so understanding. Now that rings alarm bells. I'll just wait for the announcement at dinner and try not to worry for now, but... Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Estelle Bright, member of the Laburo Bracer Guild. It is a great honor to meet you in person, Princess Alphen. There's no need to be so formal with me. I've heard so much about you from my brother. I feel like we're already friends. Olivier was a dear friend, and what happened to him was a terrible shock. What happened there? He went out of his way to get permission for me and Joshua to visit Hamel once things had settled down in Laburo. I still can't believe he's dead. It's awful, and I really wish I could have done something. Only one of us had been in Heimdallar at the time, me, Joshua, or Shara. But our grief surely pales in comparison with what you feel. Estelle, thank you for having been a good friend to my brother. I feel a little better knowing that there were people who cared so much for him, or about him. Olivert was a very thoughtful and brave man, and a lot of fun to be around. When I was hesitant about whether to accept my duty as crown princess, he gave me the push I needed. He also fostered friendly relations between Ereboni and Liberl. Despite his airhead appearance, he was a smart leader. Thank you, Claudia. He teased me for being so easily moved to tears. He'd come out with a line like, "At a time such as this, I'd like you to be the ray of sunshine which makes courage bloom." That does sound like him. Regrettably, I never had the chance to meet Prince Olivert in person. However, I heard about him encouraging greater integration and cooperation between all nations of the continent. Please accept my sincere condolences, Princess Alphen. Thank you, Lucy. By the way, you were Claudia's upperclassman at school, weren't you? Oh my gosh, it's that Lucy? Really? Oh my gosh. Actually, Chloe did tell us about that Lecter person before. Does that mean... That's correct. I went to Liberl to study at Genus Royal Academy. I was on the student council together with Lecter Arundel. Okay, never mind. I thought it was the Lucy with the glasses. Maybe her name was not Lucy, but like the student council president, there was this other guy that was also on the student council with her. You two looked after me really well back then. It made my school life that much more enjoyable. Maybe it could have been, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. But most likely, nah. What a small world. He's an Ironblood and a member of the Intelligence Division. He's a stranger person than I thought. But wait, the famously beautiful vice president who forced the student council president to listen to her no matter what. That'd be me. Chloe, I wish you didn't spread exaggerated rumors about me. Sorry, but they're not exaggerated at all. Even now, I can't forget you saying that brute force is the most important asset one can have. You're embarrassing me now. Wait, did I really say that to you? Not directly. I overheard your conversation with Hans. Oh, it is her! What the heck? What the heck? She had blonde hair? What the heck? So you were following me around and listening in on my conversations with other students. I wouldn't have guessed they knew each other so well. Olivert was so beloved by people from different backgrounds, it's a real shame he died so young. I'd be curious to hear more about Claudia and Lucy's school life, too. I don't know about all that. Now Lecter stands on the opposite side of his former classmates. I'm sure I'll cross paths with him again, and with Claire, too. Well, I stumbled upon your YouTube channel and I noticed you mentioned your name in one of your videos. You feel like a celebrity now? What's up, Narv? Thank you for watching my YouTube videos, and I'm guessing you watched my stream and review. Let's see if I can get this one right. You know what? It had to be 2018. Must have been that one. And you deserve it, Narv. I still enjoy your Legion TD streams. It's sad that you don't, stream as often as you used to, but when you do stream, I be lurking more than you think I do. Everybody go watch Narv. Go follow his channel. All that stuff. Like, subscribe, and send him happy wishes and talk to him about bugs and Eminem. Sorry, Reen. We were talking amongst ourselves again and leaving you out. I can get going and free up some space. No, please, don't leave on my account. You haven't seen each other in a while. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Getting to exchange a few words with you in person has already been a great honor. With luck, we'll meet again and have a longer chat then. You're too humble, Reen. Indeed. That reminds me, weren't you one of the testers for the Orbital Communication Network? I also got a test account from Ren. What would you say to exchanging network addresses? Are you sure? Why not? Don't be shy. Princess Claudia doesn't limit her circle of friends to the upper classes. When she enrolled at the academy, she did so under an assumed name in order to be treated like any normal girl. Lucy, I don't need a spokesperson. Okay, in that case, I'll gladly give you my network address. It shouldn't become a diplomatic issue if we're just playing a game together, I hope. Yeah, more people to play Pom with and not be able to play Pom with. Let's see, let's talk to these people first. Oh, this would actually be a really nice thing. Glad someone appreciates your madness. Absolutely, man. And it's Narv with the G. G-N-A-R-V-E. Check 'em out. Hey, Reen. Don't be a stranger. Come join us. What have you guys been talking about? Jaeger troop movements and stuff related to the war, as well as Ouroboros' presumed plans. I've been wondering about those things too. Right now it looks they're both serving the Imperial government just like the gnomes. That's a really nasty mix if you ask me. The old Northern Jaegers and Nidhugger are in a different situation though. Yeah, the Imperial Defense Force forced them to cooperate using hostages. They're currently looking for a chance to free them. What they do from now on depends on whose pocket they find themselves in this time. Shirley's a key member of the Red Constellation, so you can be sure they're in tune with Ouroboros' schemes. As for Zephyr, the gnomes hired them, but it's ultimately up to the boss to decide what they do. I don't know the details yet. There's also the Enhanced Jaegers, like the troops previously commanded by the Faceless Anguis. Yuna encountered those in Hamel. Between all of you, you've got a decent intelligence network to draw on. You make for a really good team. Yeah. And if there's any info we don't have, the Divine Blade and the Golden Rakshasa are here too. It's hard to believe Musei managed to get all these guys under one roof. It is a little hard to... Well, I was about to say, did we just get kicked out? Like, dang. Alright, so this is... Yeah, those guys... Let's see, I want to leave Cassius for last, for show. So, I guess we'll work on these guys. Oh, what's up, Tower? Thank you for the invitation, President Rocksmith. There's no need to be so tense in my presence, Machias. Would you like a cup of coffee? There's tea for me, and coffee with milk and sugar for Miss Herschel. It would seem Calvard's information agency is staffed with only the very elite. Well, their human resources are going to change now as the new party takes over from me. Is that right? Tower Herschel, we met at the West Zemuria Trade Conference 2 years ago, isn't that right? If my memory doesn't fail me, you had coffee with milk and sugar at the banquet. Your memory is excellent. That's Samuel Rocksmith, the president of Calvard. As with most people in power, he easily dominates the atmosphere with his presence. Even though he's on the way out, he's still a very influential man. I was about to say, that's it? My, welcome, Ashen Chevalier. Unfortunately, I haven't been informed what your beverage of choice might be. But since you're so well versed in Eastern culture, perhaps green tea would be to your liking. Oh, thank you, but I dropped in only for a brief chat. I wouldn't want to make a nuisance of myself. I imagine there are plenty others who'd like to speak with you today. By the way, I wanted to ask for your opinion on your colleague Tower Herschel. Wouldn't you say that her conflict resolution talents are perfect for CID, or the Calvard Intelligence Division or Department? President Rocksmith? I didn't see that coming. I heard you were bold, sir, but I never thought you'd suggest something quite that bold. I'm nowhere near as audacious as the Chancellor. Soon I won't have much authority anymore. However, I really cannot stand seeing young talent not be put to good use. It's quite fortunate we met today. If you have any gifted friends who might be inclined to move to Calvard, let me know. I'll gladly welcome them with open arms. Sorry no one comes to mind. Wow, did Reem just disrespect, like, everybody he knows? You're really not one to beat around the bush. See? That wasn't a Very illuminating conversation. Oh wow, I even get to press any buttons. It's been a long time since we last met. We haven't had the chance to speak since the trade conference 2 years ago. Nice to see you again. And you, I'm glad you all seem to be doing well. Lady Mildine, it's also the first time in many years that I have the pleasure to talk with you. While I wouldn't call these the ideal circumstances, I'm delighted. You're a most impressive young lady now. You flatter me. It's good to have time to chat about non-official affairs, yes? So you've known each other for a while. Prince Albert was a good friend of my late father. Yes, we met for the first time over a decade ago. Somehow Alfred and I got on fabulously right from the start. We talk about politics, economics, and social issues from evening till the early morning hours. The lakes and marshes of Remiferia enchanted Alfred, and he'd often bring his family there. This takes me back. I was just a little girl back then, but I vaguely remember our visits. I mostly played with your niece. She was the same age as me, I believe. I'd like to see her again. Ah, that's right. You two really liked each other, didn't you? Speaking of your niece, that's right. I haven't seen her in ages. There have been some rumors going around about her. She's becoming intractable lately. As her uncle, I want to protect her, but she's certainly not making it easy. Sometimes I think she does it to spite me, or just to spite me. He's gotten really grumbly. He must care a lot about his niece, though he does seem a bit overprotective. Oh, he's always been like this. Apologies for the digression. I didn't mean to bore you with family issues. Remiferia will gladly provide you with assistance, be it human resources or medical services. If the SSS needs anything, do not hesitate to let me know. Tio, I'm aware of your family situation. Is anything I can do? Thank you for the kind offer. It isn't as bad now, though. We've even been keeping in touch more. That's a relief. Prince Albert is a friendly guy, and Musse's known him for a long time. Looks like she's made connections early on. I should say hello to the prince, too. Ah, Mr. Schwarzer. Meeting you has truly been a pleasure, and what fortune that you turned out to be Musse's teacher. He's the best instructor I could ever ask for, too. How wonderful. Perhaps when the world is once again at peace, you can visit Remiferia. It's a beautiful place, and I imagine you would find much to enjoy. We'd be honored. I hope we can visit soon. Sounds like a perfect honeymoon destination. I had no idea your relationship extended beyond that of teacher-student. It doesn't. Please don't take anything she says too seriously. Oof. Oof. Oh. I spy with my little eye Elise Schwarzer, Princess Alphen's trusted friend and the sister of the Ashen Chevalier. You're friends with Lady Mildine too, aren't you? We need to talk. If you have questions about my friends, I'd rather you talk to them directly. I'm no gossip. Oh, I wouldn't try to drag out any embarrassing stories about your friends, nothing of the sort. You're a reporter from Crossbell, so she's your next target on your hunt for a big scoop. Don't make me sound like some fierce predator. The only thing ferocious about me is my intellect. Hold on, aren't you Ash Carbide? The guy who shot the Emperor? What's the truth behind that story? How did it feel to pull the trigger? Oh crap, what did I get myself into now? Oh my gosh. And that tall gentleman, is that the 8th Dominion of the Gralsritter? How do you know this? There are several topics I'd love to interview you in depth about. Not that I'm totally in the dark about what you've been up to. Wazy, Kevin, and Reese have already spilled some beans. Kevin and Reese. Reese isn't dead yet. All right. They're probably still mourning, shooting Home Chick Slice. Did they? Don't be shy, I don't bite. Seems like this is the party corner. Brilliant. Here comes the hero. Here comes the hero to join us. This is perfect. Let's go to that empty room over there so we can all talk in private. I'm not against an interview myself, but I'd much rather you didn't hound my friends and family for one. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there, I guess. But if there's anything you could tell me that I could quote in my report, like maybe just a short comment from each of you? That's not unreasonable, sure. Dude, speak for yourself. What if I gave her dirt on you? You're being a little overprotective. Typical Reen, really. Alright. What is Le Guin talking to these people for? So your mom moved to Erebonia. Yes, she couldn't stand Crossbell after splitting with my father, who's Calvardian. I was in Mr. JRPG stream that one day where I was talking about being in Mr. JRPG stream, and he got up to the point where he met one of the ladies. I don't remember what town it was. I really want to say it was Milosante, but it could have been anyone. Anyways, she had like basically the same hair as Ellie, and there was a picture on like a dresser, and I totally missed it. But watching his stream, he looked at it and he was like, "Oh, this must be Ellie's mom." And he was talking about how Ellie's mom moved to Erebonia, which is super interesting for all the people who play Crossbell games. Yes, she couldn't stand Crossbell after splitting with my father, who's Calvardian. She's moved in with her relatives. That was 10 years ago. Time flies. Oh, I think you've told me about this before. Doesn't seem like a good reporter to you? She just jumps from person to person without getting any info? Yeah, I don't know how she gets any information with that style. You know, she just pushes people away, in my opinion. I feel like I'm forgetting something. That rings a bell, actually. Distant relatives of the noble McDowell family from Crossbell. That would be the Barons of Eastern Lemaire, if I'm not mistaken. How did you... of course, you're from Lemaire yourself. You're right. Family trees can get so sprawling, you can't easily tell who's related to who. In fact, that Baron's family are also distant relatives of my family. Well, they do have similar hair. Oh? I did think it was Aurelia's mom, but she wasn't old. She didn't look old enough to be Aurelia's mom. Maybe that's why your hair color is the same. It's not the same. That pearl gray shade is definitely unusual, but the two of you have almost the exact same shade. It's honestly, it's not even close. But maybe I just have a higher color balance in my eyes than Elisa does. That's right, it runs in the family. We may be distant cousins, but we share the same blood nonetheless. I had no idea. What a pleasant surprise. Aurelian Le Guin, a cousin. Glad to have you as my family, Ellie McDowell. That's so sweet. Uh-oh. Now I'll tense up every time I talk to Ellie. And why would that be, Miss Crawford? No reason. I suppose this hints at the close ties between Erebonia and Crossbell, which stretch back centuries. Crossbell's also been cooperating with Calvard for a long time. And now they're in this awkward position when they have to choose between one ally or the other. It feels so wrong. Oh, Lisa. That's precisely the case. I probably don't have any right to say that considering my own position. No, your honesty is much appreciated. It was wonderful to talk to you, Elisa. Same. Thank you for all the advice, Ellie. Really nice to be in the company of people who really get along. Yes, friendship is beautiful, isn't it? I heard about Ellie's mother, or at least someone who seemed like her living in an Erebonian town. I guess that's what was nagging me at me earlier. Why she was even invited? She got well, someone pulls some strings, basically. That's the only thing I can think of. Lisa and Ellie met in Crossbell and have been good friends ever since. Yuna's friends with both of them. She's an amiable girl. But I wouldn't have seen it coming that they'd be chatting with the principal. How are you doing? Very well, thank you. Just catching up with friends. We've been exchanging messages since we met 3 months ago. We discovered that we have some shared interests. Shush, Ellie. Don't tell him. What interests? Why is Elisa so cagey about it? Oh wait, I have an idea. Never mind. Ellie, let's talk about that in private. Okay, we're in a similar situation anyway. I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. You'd be surprised. Next to them, I feel like a kid lost in the dark. You'll get there in time. Schwarzer, you could probably learn a thing or two from them as well. I'm not sure what the conversation was about, but I'm always reminded there's plenty of room for me to learn from others. Oof. Okay, was this the Cassius room? Yes. Leaving that one for last. What's going on, Gothel? Hi, I'm Kia Bannings. Ren told me lots about you, Tita. Nice to meet you, I'm Tita Russell. I can't believe it, Ren. She's so cute. Yeah, that's how most people react to her. You must be Angelica Rogner. Nice to meet you, I'm Ren Bright. Uh-oh, here we go. I hear you've been trained in the Taito style by Kilika Roran. Oh, that's cool. Nice to meet you, Angie. Or, do you like Jellica better? This is paradise. What? Angelica, are you alright? We're only 2,000 arj above ground, but it seems we're flying close to the heavens. Tita alone is an angel, but the three of you together form an angelic choir. No, remain calm, Angelica. Celine, what's going on here? Beats me. I was just having a nap and woke up to this. I can't stand it anymore. Angelica? She's faster than lightning. Bug attack. My life is complete. You're just going to stand by and watch this happen, huh, Reed? I'm just waiting for things to calm down so I could say hello. Oh, that's Angelica. Oh, wasn't supposed to go in there. My bad. Alright. Are you sitting on that chair? You're kind of not. Hi, Schwarzer. Hey guys. You're discussing armed forces movements on the different fronts. Rosine, I'm surprised to see you with them. I've got my reasons. As you overheard, we're trying to get a better picture of where each militarized faction is allocating its resources. Besides the Weisland army, I wanted to check in with the bracers and the armored divisions too. I've also been looking into the armored division's movements. It seems they've established a new squad. The guild is also keeping an eye on the situation. We're tracking high-ranking Jaeger Corps movements and gauging the neighboring country's response. It'd be helpful to trade info with you guys. I see. And you're also gathering intel on military movements, Rosine? As a matter of fact, yes. There is no organization that understands and fears the Great Twilight more than the Septian Church. The details are confidential, but we've already decided on which measures to take. Seriously? I can only imagine what that means. We'll all benefit from cooperating, but in any case, we'll return to Operation Mille Mirage at dinner. For now, let's just take a break. Sounds like a plan. Can't wait to hear the details of the operation. But I've got to be patient. Let's walk around some more. I think Kevin might make an appearance in this game. Oh, hold on. Before I do some talking, what's over here? That's the way to the upper deck. I don't need to go there at the moment. Okay. Alright, I don't think this conversation is going to be very good. Have there been any updates on Hercules? We're still unable to locate them. With the Ramda's stealth function and mobility of a gunship, they're very hard to track down. We're not going to give up, of course. I heard you've requested the Bracer Guild's help with this. Yes, although they also haven't been able to dig up any new information since we lost sight of the Hercules in the canyon. I heard about that from the guild too. I guess when a special forces squad equipped with the latest technology wants to disappear, it'd take a miracle to track them down. The Ramda, we've seen firsthand in Heimdallar how its spatial projection functions can seriously impede pursuit. Gotta sneeze. I wasn't able to say it beforehand. Anyways, if they'd only surrendered, there'd be room for negotiations with Erebonia. But maybe the curse has progressed too far for that. The Dark Dragon made the members of the Hercules squad into its kin back in Heimdallar. The Great Twilight must have taken that and twisted them into Noct Familia. Noct Familia? Those are vampires from Erebonian folklore, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any way to make them human again? It's possible if you act quickly. If you find them within a few days, they should be fine. So that's our time frame. It's been a lot more than a few days since they were attacked by the Dark Dragon. Kayla, let me know if you pick up their trail. You might be able to help in some capacity. You're volunteering to help? That's much appreciated. I'm not volunteering for anything. Alright, I think this conversation is actually going to be really good. Sarah totally likes Cassius. And Kurt is Kurt, and Laura is Laura. You know, maybe she'll talk some Arcade stuff. You know, this is a swords person conversation right here. I feel like we're gonna get some interesting stuff. Cassius, how have you been? When was it we last saw each other? Goodness, 4 years at least. I'm sorry I missed your A-rank promotion ceremony. It coincided with the orbital shutdown phenomenons, so there was no helping it. Thank you for writing my recommendation. You're welcome. Have you managed to come to terms with Colonel Valestein passing away? Yes, I've been lucky to be surrounded by good, supportive friends from the Bracer Guild and my wonderful students. Laura's one of my students. Kurt's a student of a student. I'm Laura Arcade. You, sir, are a legend. It is truly an honor to meet you in person. I'm very glad to meet you too, Laura. I had the pleasure of working with Victor on the Bracer Guild branch bombing case. He praised you highly. Please accept my sincere sympathy. His loss must have hurt you deeply. Thank you, sir. My father once told me that seeing your prowess with the staff firsthand would be a beneficial experience for me. I believe you were self-taught. Not quite. I learned the basics from a friend. I also took the liberty of incorporating teachings of the 8 Leaves School into it. I'm very impressed, sir. Only those who are very talented are able to do so. Kurt, why don't you introduce yourself? Yes. I'm Kurt Vander, younger brother of Mueller Vander and nephew of Zex Vander. Pardon me, sir. You're quite the hero. I feel a bit overwhelmed. Take it easy. I'm not all they say about me. I've met your brother and uncle, but I don't believe I've ever spoken to your father. When things calm down a little, I'd like to pay a visit to your folks. I fear I've been rather impolite in not having done so yet. No, not at all. I'm sure my mother and father will be thrilled to meet you. Cassius has a lot of connections both in the army and among the bracers. I could spend the whole evening talking to him about swordplay, but it'd be rude to monopolize him like that. Relay the Master's message for you once the circumstances are right, but a time when great determination and sacrifices are needed is no doubt to come. I'll have to be patient. Alright, I was about to say, like, I want to do a little bit more conversating with this group. Oh, Reen. Come and join us. Don't mind if I do. By the way, was the Silver Streak an acquaintance of yours, Cassius? Sherazard. Yes, she was a pupil of mine at the guild. Very odd that she's vanished into thin air. Yes, no one seems to be able to track down her whereabouts. If she wasn't at the Gnomes' HQ, could it be possible that Ouroboros abducted her? No, Shara has a relative who's among the ranks of Ouroboros. I was about to say, do you now? But I do remember that. She's the Bell chick. She is a sucker fool to fight, and I would not like to do that. I find it hard to believe that they'd kidnap her. I think I know who you mean. Sherazard mentioned her to me when we were out drinking. Enforcer number 6, the Bewitching Belle. Yeah, see, I don't remember her name, but I remember the bell part. Duvali. Yep, that's her. She showed up in Liberl during the Orbital shutdown, too. But it's unknown whether she's still alive. It seems she hasn't reported back to Ouroboros since that incident. They haven't written her off as dead yet, though. It's assumed the situation is similar to Bublanc's, that she's out there somewhere going about her business. The Silver Streak was like a sister to her, though. She wouldn't keep quiet if Ouroboros had abducted her. I see. Might as well drop that line of investigation. My, if it isn't the Stahlritter's Duvali the Swift. You seem very well informed. I could say the same about you, especially considering you don't have ties with the Ouroboros yourself. I understand now why the Faceless was remarkably wary of you. My lord is also intrigued by you. If you don't mind, I'd like to hear how you achieved mastery in so many disciplines. Oh, swordplay, military arts, strategy. And I hear your master's disciple Arios is just like you. Yes, I've heard rumors about him. Just for reference, if you could tell us if there's any particular trick to it. Not that it impresses me all that much, but both you and Arcade were renowned as the finest swordsman alive, so it must count for something. I can't think of many honors greater than the Maiden of Legend herself taking an interest in me. Well, ask me anything and I'll try to satisfy your curiosity, although we may not be able to go into much detail this time. That's fine. First of all, why did you give up the sword and switch to the staff? Duvali's so easy to read, but that's part of her charm. She's polite to everyone and doesn't look down on others, even if they're her enemy. As expected of the Steel Maiden's disciple, I look up to her as well. You gonna leave it like that? We ain't done talking. Oh, I thought I sensed someone spying from over there. To be honest, I'm honored that you'd think me worthy of your attention, Duvali the Swift. Guess I should have known I couldn't stay hidden from you. But don't get the wrong idea. I wasn't just sitting over there waiting for your meeting to end or anything. Anyway, I have a few questions for your school's concept of enlightenment. Very well, I can't promise it will be comprehensive, but I'll tell you what I can. I'm really curious about just what the Divine Blade of Wind has achieved myself, but I probably shouldn't butt into their chat. Is Cassius the Wind one? For some reason I thought it was Arios that was the Wind. My apologies, Reen. I had wanted a chance to speak with you more, but let us leave it until the next opportunity. Of course, I look forward to it. Sucker. What is the sword to the 8-leaf style? How do you train with it? Duvali must be really curious about this. I want to talk about it, but now is probably not the time. Of course not. Of course not. Okay, let's save again. So much talking. I'm surprised my voice actually, held out. This is probably the most talking I've done in... Actually, no, I think well, hold on. We're not done yet. Let's not make any claims yet that I will regret. Can't find anything to do? You finished your conversation already, sucker? You just got there. Hello, Duvali the Swift. Well, she's a swift conversationer. Conversator. I don't know how to say that word. I was just wandering around. You can drop the epithet. If you can be informal with Lloyd and Estelle, why not me? It was just a slip of the tongue. Besides, there's not much of an age difference between the three of us. I feel like I should be more respectful when talking to you. Are you implying that, from your point of view, I'm old? No, definitely not. She's what, 23? She doesn't even look it. But it's probably best to drop it. Anyway, Lady Mildine has more influence in the higher echelons than I imagined. She's gathered prominent political figures, bracers, the special support section, and all of you under the same roof. Even the Black Fang and the Angel of Slaughter are present. Ah, that's right. Do you know them through Ouroboros? Yes, I was familiar with the Blade Lord who often worked with them. Joshua Ashtray left Ouroboros around the time I joined. I see. That must have been when the Brights took him in. Hey, what you guys talking about? Swapping some sexy little secrets, I hope? So you got Muse forming her own Avengers? Yep, that's where I'm at right now. And lots of talking. They're acting like maximum lifespan is 30 years. Well, in Crow's case, it might just be. Is that all you ever think about? How's the intel gathering going, Crow? Well, Randolph's chatty as ever, but it's Joshua that's a real treasure trove of info. And isn't it kind of weird Vita's not here? Yeah, Emma seems confused about it too. You both know what she's like, probably busy working on some grand scheme behind the scenes. Have you noticed tension in the air? I guess. I think I know what you mean. It's not just you Awakeners that are particularly sensitive to it. Everyone gathered here seems to sense something ominous brewing. Whether there's any connection to Operation Meal Mirage or not, we'll likely find out at dinner. Yeah. There's the rivalries too. The calm before the storm might be over pretty soon. It could just be me, but we better be prepared. Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens. I'll keep my eyes and ears open and see what else I can learn. My apologies for disturbing your pleasant conversation. It is time to eat. May I please ask you to proceed to the banquet hall? Yeah, thanks. I remember the food here being pretty good. Yeah, I remember you making me some food, bringing it over, and then, we're in the middle of eating, and then you're like, I'm just gonna bounce out. And then you leave, and you leave all that food on the table, making me have to clean it up. I remember that. I was there for Cold Steel too. You can't hide that from me. Yes, it was cooked by the finest chefs from Erebonian nobles could find. Those fish burgers of yours were quite delectable as well, I must admit. Sometimes simple is the best. I'm surprised you remember, honestly. That was a while ago, and they weren't anything special, just a quick and easy meal. Hey, I've been looking for you guys everywhere. The dinner is about to start. Great, I'm starving. But the discussion that follows is the main course, isn't it? That's right. It's more than just a social event. Let's get going. It's rude to keep good food waiting. All right. This is it. The moment we've all been waiting for. Is this going to be as illuminating as the conversation between Osborn and Reen? I have no idea, but I'm hoping for it. And I'm hoping we're not going to get interrupted before we start getting the answers that we want. Because we always get interrupted. And I'm going to mark that right there, too.